Hey, welcome back to another edition of Kadaire's Corner. This week I want to talk a little bit about coaching, and specifically a little bit about base coaching. First base, third base coach. Obviously, what the goal is for each of those coaches, tips and tricks for those coaches, and basically how to help your players out on the base paths to become better base runners. And let's start with first base. First base, in my opinion, obviously, aside from giving the signs, is probably, in my opinion, the most important base coach, because that's the one that's going to be closest to the base runner. The base runner still has to go through second, third, and then to home. Still has to go to different bases and different stages. So there's a lot more information that you can give to that player, to that base runner, that's going to help him on his journey, hopefully, to scoring a run. To whereas at third base, you're really only giving him enough information when he's on third base that he can score and move up 90 more feet to score the run. So things that I used to look for in my first base coach and things that I wanted to know from my first base coach is, first and foremost, how many outs. Obviously, I as a player should know how many outs there are, but it's always nice to be reconfirming to your player how many outs there are. Letting you know where the outfielders are playing, or at least reminding me to take a look at the right fielder, at the center fielder, at the left fielder, understanding where they're playing, telling me who has what arms. Obviously, these are all things that I should know as a baseball player and as a base runner. But having that first base coach there to reaffirm a lot of the things that I'm thinking helped me in my thought process while I was on the plate or while I was on the bases. And it allowed me to kind of let my instincts kick in a little bit better. Telling me where the position players are playing, the second baseman, the shortstop, the third baseman, letting me know if there's a shift on or where anybody's playing, letting me know the catcher's tendencies. Does the catcher like to throw down to first base? Is the catcher quick to second base? Does the catcher throw the ball back to the pitcher on his knees? Does he stand up? Does he look at me? Does he look at the base runner every time? Those are things that the first base coach can see throughout the course of the game. I wanted the first base coach to tell me the pitcher's times from pitcher's mound to home plate when he's pitching. I wanted him to tell me the catcher's pop time in between innings. That way I knew roughly how many seconds it was going to take for me to steal the base. And then also I wanted him to kind of give me a little help with the signs. If I saw something, if I didn't see something. I used to have a verbal sign with my first base coach. If he saw a steal sign or a hit and run sign, something that I don't typically see when I'm on first base that the manager wanted to put on, we would have a verbal sign that he would kind of tell me to dictate to let me know that I had a hit and run on or whatever is the case, or just something is on. I need to figure it out real quick. But again, those are all little things that the first base coach can pay attention to then relay to the base runner when he or she gets on first base, just to help them become more at ease when they're on the bases. Because so many things are going through the player's mind when they get on the base. Maybe they just had a bad at bat or they had a good at bat. Adrenaline's running, emotions are flowing. They're not really clicked in yet. That first base coach is there to be the anchor and let them click back in. So there's obviously more to it than just what I mentioned, but those are little tips and tricks out the gate, just on the top of my head that you could use to help your player. Third base coach, the first and foremost, I wanted my third base coach to be clear and concise with the signs. When you go and giving signs and you're going real fast, it's easy to miss them. It's easy to get lost in them. If you're giving too many signs or not enough signs, it's easy to get lost in that translation as well. So clear, concise, and to the point with your signs. And make sure everybody's looking and everybody's watching. And make sure you're giving signs all the time. That was one of the things. If you're only giving signs when you put something on, obviously the other team is going to know that something is up and it's easy for them to pay attention. Letting the player know enough in advance when they need to hold up at third base. When they're running, they're coming full speed around third base. As a base runner, you're always taught to have the third base coach stop you. So if you're coming full speed, you need to have enough time and you need to have enough space to let that base runner know that they need to hold up. And that is something that is not easy to do. It's not easy to be watching the play develop and then be able to let your base runner know with time to go or to stop, advance to home, bobbled ball, whatever the case may be. But you need to practice that, and you need to take that seriously to let that base runner know. And it's not something you can just go out and just expect to be good at it or expect to do, just like you don't expect your players to just be able to go out there and do what you ask them to do. You need to practice that at third base as well. And again, I think another one is take your role and take your job as a base coach seriously. And I think we ask our players to take what they're doing out on the field serious and focus. We should expect that same amount of focus and seriousness from ourselves as coaches on the base pass. We're not going to make every choice correct. We're not going to do everything right. But as long as we have clear intent, our focus is there, and we're caring about our job on the bases as a base coach, then we're at least on the right path. As always, I'd love for you to hear your comments. Hit me up, #USAB mailbag. Anytime you want. Questions, comments, concerns. And until next time, play hard, dream big.